Hello and welcome to Coronacrisis. My name's David Haythornthwaite and I'm the chairman of AFC Fylde. And over the next few weeks and months, I'm hopefully going to take you through what goes on behind the scenes of a non-league football team at times like this. We're going to discuss all the issues regarding behind the scenes, the players, off-field staff, all the things that contribute to the running of the club, and how we're dealing with the issues that have been thrown at us on a daily and weekly basis, so that it gives you a really good insight to the club and the running of clubs in general. So I look forward to you joining me on this journey.
David, thanks once again for joining us as we look behind the scenes at AFC Fylde again. We'd like to take a trip down memory lane today. It's very close to the 1 year anniversary of the FA Trophy win against Leyton Orient at Wembley. I know it was a very proud day for a lot of the fans, for yourself, and going back, a week or two earlier, we'd previously lost at Wembley, so maybe it put a few of those bad memories to rest as well, winning that game. Can we get your thoughts on the trophy run and look back at it?
Yeah, the trophy, as you know, my sort of partner, my best friend, Di Davis, who got me involved with what was then Kirkham and Wesham, became Fylde. Always, used to sort of joke with me a bit and say, "Come on, we're going to have a good run in the trophy. We've got a chance of winning the trophy," and we always got knocked out pretty early. But this particular year, we went and won it, and it was a great experience, and of course, in doing so, to the annoyance of probably a lot of people, we became the only club that ever won the FA Vase and the FA Trophy, and I think that's going to be a record that's hard to break. As you remember, we won the FA Vase the first year I joined, in actual fact, 2008. We went to Wembley then, as Kirkham and Wesham won the FA Vase. Matt Warwin, young kid at school, 17-year-old, scored both goals, had a great day out, stayed at Luton Hoo and celebrated. So coming on to the FA Trophy and the chats of being able to win it, those are the two big non-league cups that you can win. There's another one. Was great to be part of that history, and it was an unusual journey because certainly we almost went out in the early stages when we played Ramsbottom away in a crazy game, where I think we were 2-0 up and then 3-1 up, and this was torrential rain that night. I mean, when you talk about mud bath, it really was a mud bath in the old-fashioned way. Where Ramsbottom's ground is, it's kind of in a bit of a valley, and it was which all played into their hands really. We're a footballing side, and it was a great leveller, as cup games often are on bad grounds. So it was sheeting with rain, terrible, and there we were, 3-1 up. Thought, okay, no problem, this is it. And then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, we're losing 5-4, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at Di, he stood next to me, we're soaking wet, and I think 5 minutes to go maybe there was, and we're thinking that's it, we're trophy's gone for another year. And I think I said something like that to him. I said, "There you go, I told you were dreaming," and some words to that effect. I couldn't see us getting back. It was just one of those games, but we did, and we equalised. Andy Bond, last minute, 5-5. What a cup game, 5-5. Went through, get in the car, go home, got a replay back at our place. Obviously, decent night, decent pitch, and I think we won maybe 4-1, was it, something like that. So that was then you start to think, a little bit, yeah, okay, well, that's we got that one out of the way. What was that? Was that a little bit of fate? Was that a little bit of a sign that this could be our year? And of course, eventually, we arrive at the semi-final, and it's against Stockport, one of the clubs that love to hate us, and we thought this was going to be a tough game because first leg's at our place, second leg's away at Edgeley Park, and going there in a cup tie with a place at Wembley, it's going to be a cauldron. It's going to be tough. So first game 0-0 at our place. We haven't got that goal advantage, and off we go to Edgeley Park, and it's quite intimidating sitting in the director's box at Edgeley Park. It's not. It wouldn't be the normal director's box, shall we say it that way, because you basically sat right on top of the crowd, and there's a lot of comments flying around, shall we say, but there we are, and we Stockport take an early lead, and probably deservedly so, and then we get back with two fairly quick goals, penalty from Rowie, and then Crowsdale scores it, and we're 2-1 up, and I think they're 2-1 up with a few minutes to go, and then they equalise. Bad mistake really from Lynch at the corner. When I look back, I mean, he's a fantastic keeper, but for somehow misses it, goes to the back post, and I think it could have been Duxbury. I think could have been, actually, who's with us now, scores at the back post, and it's 2-2, and you can imagine the place is going mental, and this is they've come back from the dead, going to go to extra time, and they're going to win it, as you would think if you were a Stockport fan. But from the kickoff, we scored probably one of the best goals Fylde's ever scored, just because of the possession that we kept, and the patience, and the clear thinking of the players after conceding, with 5-6 minutes to go, and thinking, we've lost our chance to go to Wembley. I would say to anyone, go back and watch that goal from kickoff, because it's fantastic. The passing, keeping the ball, the patience, and then attacking when we had to. And that little finish there from Reedy, who was on loan, just silenced the crowd. And very quickly, the game's over, everyone's on the pitch, and we're on our way to Wembley. And that was great, a great day. Sometimes the semi-final can be just as exciting as the final. I'm sure you know, as a football fan, emotionally. So off we go to Wembley, and that was in March when we actually got to the qualifying to get to the final, and then we got the rest of the season. As you mentioned, we got into the playoffs final against Salford. Unfortunately, lost that. I've always said if I could have swapped, I'd have taken promotion and lost to Leyton Orient, but wasn't to be. So there we are a week later in the trophy final, and we've got to sort of pick ourselves up. We're playing Leyton Orient, who are the champions. They've nothing to lose. They haven't kicked a ball probably for a month. They haven't been in the playoffs. We had to go to the playoffs, remember, and so we played Harrogate in the playoffs. We played Solihull away in the playoffs. Then we played Salford. They'd rested for virtually a month before they played us. No injuries. Good side Leyton Orient, 2 or 3 really good players. Beaten us twice, deservedly so. So they were out and out favourites. They've got 22,000 fans. We've got 4,000 or 5,000 fans. But that doesn't make any difference. That doesn't count for anything on the day. What counts on the day is what happens. And I think, having been there the week earlier, they always say, if you go to Wembley, you're in awe of it as a fan. But to go there as a player is every player's dream, isn't it, to this day? You know, at our level, people would never get to play at Wembley, really. So I think the nerves get to you, and it's how you handle those nerves in any big game, isn't it? How you handle it. Like they say, it's all here, isn't it, really? And I think that Salford had probably, to give them credit, probably handled it a bit better than us the week before. A bit more experience. Things went their way. I'm not making any excuses. I think Salford deserved to win on the day. But I think that experience helped us at Wembley when we came to play Leyton Orient. And we played really well that game, really well. And of course, is our talisman, Danny Rowe, scored a fantastic free kick, as good as anything that Shearer or Beckham could do, without a doubt, as good as any of those. And I thought it was only fitting for him. He'd been fantastically loyal to the club. He'd helped us with all his goals get, to where we got to. I don't think without Danny Rowe, maybe we'd have got as far as we got. He's a fantastic player, still is. And there we were. It's obviously a bit nail biting at the end, but then we win the trophy, and had a great night that night back at the hotel, as you do with the players and everyone, and it was fantastic. And the kind of only sad thing that people remember out of it was that a couple of weeks later, I was actually out in Mallorca. In Port Al's, people who know Mallorca, just outside Palma, in a bar there, Ritzy, and of course at the bar is Justin, the manager of Leyton Orient. So I went across and introduced myself and said, look, sorry we beat you, and I'd still swap places because I'd rather be promoted. And yeah, he's a very, very, very nice guy, and his wife came across and introduced herself to my wife, and spent a lot of time talking about football and families and things like that. And then, wow, the following Wednesday he was dead. So that was, I suppose his last game really as a manager. And I wouldn't say it was after the event, so he didn't sort of take anything, the gloss off it, but it's sort of, it was a bit of a strange feeling a week later, I say meeting him and then learning what happened to him. But from our point of view, it was a great day out, and one for the fans. And I say you'll never ever take that away from us. We're the first team to do it, and I think that record will remain a long time. As I now joke with Di, the only one we're missing now is the FA Cup, and we'll be able to put the 3 stars on our shirt, and that's some could say a wild dream, but it was a wild dream when Dave Whelan took over Wigan. Nobody had thought they'd have beat City in an FA Cup final. Nobody had thought they'd got to a cup final, never mind won it. So I suppose that's the next potential cup for us to win, and then we'd have all 3. But obviously, every single one, just like getting promoted, is more and more difficult. But our fans had a great day that day. The players had a great day, and all our families as well. So, fantastic experience.
When you look back now, just how important was it for you and for the club to come out of that season with something as well? You didn't want to end the season, a great season, on two Wembley losses.
Yeah, I mean, they always say, Adam, don't they, that you never remember, who lost in the final at Wimbledon. You only remember who won it. You don't remember who Bjorn Borg bought, or McEnroe beat. I'm going back with some old names there, aren't I? But you don't remember that. You don't remember who came second in the national. You only remember winners. But in actual fact, I would have been disappointed if we'd lost both. Not for myself personally, but for the fans, because I still felt, and I still do feel, it was an amazing achievement. No club to this day has been to Wembley twice in a week. No club, twice in a week. I mean, that's a great question of sport, isn't it? For future generations, which club went to Wembley twice in a week? And it's not a trick question. So we did it twice in a week, which was great. So. And that was an amazing experience to beat Solihull at Solihull. to get to the final against Salford. What a great day that was. So we achieved so much that season that I wouldn't have considered failure if we hadn't won something. I would have felt, I say for the fans, I'd have felt for Dave Challoner, the manager and the backroom staff and all the people, I'd have felt for them. But I wouldn't have been devastated myself, because I still felt it was a great achievement from where we came from, 12 years earlier, kicking about on a park, with one man and his dog at Kirkham, to get to Wembley twice in a week. That wasn't failure, it wouldn't have been failure. But so winning it was obviously the old icing on the cake.
So looking at that progression now, it just makes you hungry for the future, I guess.
Well, it's hard to follow that, It's hard to follow that again.
You've still got your dreams.
I don't think it can be beaten. We obviously then went into this season we went into free fall, and I think a lot of that was a result of those things happening. Is we never had a chance to plan. We didn't do anything right, and it was serious. And funny enough, I talked to I think Danny Hunter at Boreham Wood, and he was saying the same when they got to playoff. They lost in the playoff final to Tranmere. He said the following season was a disaster. Lost a lot of the good players like we did, and nearly got relegated themselves. So you've got to be careful of those things. You don't think about that. All you think about is, we'll just go back, sign a couple of more players, and do it this time. As we all know, not as simple as that. So. Yeah, it's still our plan. We put 2022 on our sleeve. It's a big ask. It's a big ask now, and that means we've got 2 seasons left to go, and we might be starting next season in Conference North. We might be. So, but you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a dream, and you've got to have ambition. If you don't have those, you'll achieve nothing.
I think it's a great note to end it on. Thank you.
Thanks.